Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley. Today we are joined by founders of AttractWell, Greg and Amanda Kilwine. Hi guys.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody.
We're thrilled to have you here today. As you're coming in, let us know where in the world you are from. We have some really exciting stuff to share with you today. If you work with clients one-on-one and you'd like to get more time back in your business or practice by allowing the intake process and the booking process for private calls with you to be automated, you're really going to love what we have in store for you today. If you like done-for-you resources, be doubly excited because we've got one of those done as well. We do have a lot that we're going to cover today, but just a real quick little bit of housekeeping. This is a live call that we offer every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and it's open to anyone who is a coach, a consultant, a creator, a practitioner, a network marketer. If you are someone who has a people-powered business, right? Your clients are not just people who buy courses. You can sell courses with us. Our feature set is really designed for you if you really are connecting with human to human in your business. So we've got a lot of different ways that you can use us, and it's a great opportunity every week to kind of tune in and get inspiration, get ideas. If you want a fully automated course, you can build that with us. If you want to sell high ticket programs where you speak to people and it's high touch and it's one-on-one, you can do that. If you want to build a network marketing team where you're managing your communication, you can do that. So there's a lot that can be done here. And today we're automating your onboarding for coaching packages. So we can, and this is for the replay, we can bring you into our community very easily by going over to attractwell.com/office hours. You get all of the notifications for the future trainings that we'll be offering as those come out. And then of course, you'll be the first to receive any replays and resources like you guys have already for the resource that we are sharing today. If you want one-on-one help, this is also a fantastic opportunity. If you're trying to figure out if AttractWell is right for you, if you're stuck at a point in your business where you're just trying to figure out where to go next, where your foot goes next, or you're trying to navigate tech and it feels like a lot, this is an opportunity to just sit down with us on a call, talk through some of the things that you're trying to get done, and then we can typically very quickly divine a path forward that will work really well for you in your business. So yeah, so let's get into this. Oh, and by the way, if you want to sign up for a live call like that, that's attractwell.com/work review. See a bunch of familiar faces here today. Excited to see you guys. And to the new folks who are here, welcome. Really, really thrilled that you're here joining us today. I did see a question come through, by the way, just a quick also final bit of housekeeping. If you did come here with questions, requests for help today, please do go to the Q&A to add those so that we can make sure that we don't miss it. Sometimes we can miss in the chat if you're requesting something. Now, Lynn, we sent out via email this morning, and we will put this in the description on the replay, a link to the work resource that we'll be using today. And I'm actually pasting that into our chat here. So you can click that and claim it. I will show you exactly how we're going to use it here in just a little bit. So this was actually a special request. We have a new member of our community who we'll meet later on today, who is a practitioner and is a health coach. Specifically is working in health coaching where we're selling packages of calls. And so that is what this is designed for. We can kind of talk through how this can be modified to use for different purposes. It's obviously not just a one size fits all here. Every business here is different today. So Carrie, all you have to do is copy that link that I just put into the chat, swap out the name AttractWell with Get Oiling, and this will fit into your Get Oiling account, just the same as it looks in AttractWell. So I do have some slides. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off videos so we can preserve our recording quality. And then we are going to get into our training for today. All right. Here we go. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to sell coaching packages and automate your new client intake and booking after they have purchased the coaching package that you've offered. All right, so what we're going to be going over today, Carrie, look in the chat. You're going to see that link in the chat here, and of course in the YouTube replay, you'll see this below video to get the link. All right, so we'll talk about how to sell coaching packages on your site. We're also going to talk about how to move your new client automation from purchase to intake to booking. And then we'll do some live strategy discussion. And we do have 2 live help and Q&A requests today. So we will be meeting up with you guys on this call as well for any questions that you have for how we put the stuff into your account. So let us know, actually. Head over into the chat. Tell us about your business. What kind of business do you operate? Who do you serve? What does that look like for you? And if you have questions, again, please definitely do add those to the Q&A. And we're happy to help you throughout our time here on the call. And if you want to work together, like I mentioned, AttractWell.com/work review, and you can have dedicated space on an upcoming call just like this one and get on our list so you never miss an opportunity to join live, tune in and learn, get resources. That's AttractWell.com/office hours. All right. So tell me, how do you sell your sessions? Let us know in the chat. Do you sell one session at a time? When you're meeting with a client, do you sell a package of sessions? Do you have a coaching program that maybe is inclusive of some number of sessions with you? What does that look like for you when you're selling your one-on-one time? Curious what that looks like. So do you offer packages of calls, one-off calls where they can purchase one call and then book with you? I know I definitely see a lot of people do this with like calendar apps and things like that. And then of course, do you have a program? And then from there also, like, how do you take payments, right? I see we've got one session at a time on Acuity. We've got packages, one session at a time, packages of calls. So we're kind of all over the place, got 3 packs, different things like that. Now, what about payment? Are you guys taking payment on your site? Or are you using a booking software? What does that look like for you? Venmo, Stripe, paid in salsa on your site. All right, great. So we're a little bit all over the place here in terms of the different options. So we're going to definitely today, we're talking about taking payments on your AttractWell site. So if you're wanting to start taking payment on AttractWell, this is going to be a great training for you to tune into. So I'm going to show you how to take a sales page that we trained on about a month ago and show you some options for adding payments to that sales page today. So if you want a way to move your clients from paid to booked, you're also in the right place. Let me ask you, when you have someone book a call with you, they book your, they pay for time, you set up the time. Do you use an intake form of any kind? Are there questions you ask ahead of the call prior to booking? And if you do, is that automated or is that something that you have to go and seek out? Is it, how many different places are you housing the different parts of this strategy? See, I remember when I used to work with, and these were high volume businesses in coaching years ago. We would have, I kid you not, 7 or 8 different programs for almost every function we needed to fulfill in our business, right? Not kidding. So we would have a survey on one platform, we'd have booking on another platform, there'd be coordination with email in between because they were on a landing page in a different database company and we sent emails from another place and there was no automation. We had to have people working all of these automations, right? So we actually had teams because we had a budget for it. But if you're a coach, you probably don't have staff, right? Does anybody here have staff as a coach? Not usually, right? Yeah, right. It does sound horrible. It's terrible. And that's why it's like there's this sort of notorious idea in this business that you have to have insane profit margins and have a ton of money to invest up front to be able to offer coaching programs online. Well, with AttractWell, you don't have to, right? Because everything here is under one roof. Carrie's employing her husband and kids. Oh, you guys, if you have any suggestions, I have a 15-year-old that needs employment and it's just really doesn't want to work with mom. All right, anyway. All right, so let's talk about moving our clients from paid to book as well. So real quick, you guys, I am going to be referencing this training. All right. You often need to fire them, Carrie. That's hilarious. All right. So we did a training a while back. I just mentioned this. It is called How to Create Sales Pages with AttractWell, or Sales Page Template for Coaches and Creators. You can find that on our YouTube channel. I definitely recommend, if you haven't done this yet, that you watch this training because it's going to show you how to make this page that I'm showing you right now, where you can take payment, you can set up and sell whatever it is that you're selling if it's coaching packages, if it's a course, if it's coaching program, group coaching, whatever, you can do that. And there is a resource there for the specific page you're looking at, although we are going to be using a modified version today with this new bundle, okay? Now, real quick, I had an oopsie yesterday and sent out a bundle code to you guys via an email a little early yesterday. So if you did claim that already, I want to encourage you to actually come back and reclaim this bundle because there's more in it. It is complete. So I'm going to show you what all of these things do. And if you're looking at this list and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be doing this all night into tomorrow, don't worry, you're not. It's actually pretty simple. And the cool thing is that it's all already plugged up for you. So this is how it works. We have our sales page, and this is from the perspective, by the way, of your future client, okay? So we have our sales page. On the sales page, when they choose their plan and you take their payment, two things happen. Number one, they're immediately sent to a confirmation page. That confirmation page tells them, go check your email, all right? Because an email was also just sent to them. That's a campaign. The campaign has one email that says, I'm so proud of you. I'm excited to work with you. Now go do this, okay? And do this is fill out the intake form. And then once they've filled out the intake form, it's going to send them to a booking page. And then from there, of course, you're able to easily get on your call, right? Now, there is an additional email in this campaign just to make sure that we're saving you some time, because sometimes people, they buy something and they forget to do something with it, right? We want to make sure that you aren't having to manually chase everybody down. There is a second email in the campaign that's just a reminder. Hey, you haven't taken this step yet. Want to remind you to go do this. Okay. So the intake form is where we go next. And that's where they're going to answer questions, right? So before you get on your call with your clients, I cannot recommend enough that you start with an intake form. Before you get on calls with anyone, whether they're existing clients or their leads, have an intake form, because you can spend a lot less time and a lot more time profitably and effectively with your client if you're getting the questions asked out of the way first and not using your time during your coaching call to do stuff that could have just been handled with a quick intake form that your client can fill out ahead, right? So you've got your intake form. Now, we have a thing in AttractWell that's called automation. And these automations will actually do any number of different things, but this particular automation is going to remove that contact from that intake email campaign after they filled out the intake form. Why? Because if they've taken action on that first email, we don't want to send them the second one, right? So we want to make sure that stops sending. So that happens there. Once they have filled out their information, answered all the questions on the booking form, they're taken to a booking page where you can embed your calendar, whatever your calendar is that you prefer to use. I personally prefer Calendly. And then of course, over here, you can then move on to have your call. Whatever their answers are in the intake form are going to show up on their contact card inside of AttractWell. Everything is all under one roof here. They have paid. They have been given expectations delivered via email and the confirmation page. They have taken their first step. They are now prepared for a call with you. And really all you got to do is show up to the call that they booked with you. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so let's talk about real quick, if you're selling packages of calls, you are going to want to have some kind of system in place, some kind of simple system in place where you can get them booked again, right? Prior to your next call together. So in this case, my recommendation is that you create a saved reply. And I'll show you how this works in just a bit. You want to create a saved reply that links to the booking page to book their next session with you. So say, hey, I'm looking forward to sitting down and talking with you about XYZ thing. Click here to book our next time. Right? And so you can just pop that in. And it's like a template. It's already written because you already wrote it, right? So I recommend you create something like this because this is how you can maintain your cycle of calls. And then of course, if you're keeping track in your contact manager, maybe with your contact progress field, you can have those 6 calls. And of course you can have, if you have a 6 call package, you can have notes for each of those 6 calls and so on, right? Okay, so real quick, before we go into this, funnels, which is what this is. This is a funnel from purchase through to through onboarding and first call. They're best built backwards. Okay. So we are used to experiencing these things on the internet that we interact with from the outside in, right? Just kind of like if you're walking down a street, you don't, I mean, unless it's all windows, like you don't typically see inside like the bedroom of a house that you're passing, right? But you know, it's in there. We pass through the front door first and then walk through the rooms and then get to whatever the places that we're wanting to go to. That's not how houses are built though, right? We don't hang door frames before we lay a foundation, right? So we're not doing this from the perspective of the buyer or the lead. We are doing this from the inside out, or to use the house analogy, from the foundation up. So the reason why we do this is really simple. It's going to save you a ton of time, and you don't have to keep going back and wondering if you've got everything connected properly. So here, the really good news, if this feels kind of big to you, weird, foreign, don't worry. This is like mostly done, right? It's 90% done, and all of the connecting pieces are already connected for you. And that's why I gave them all to you in a bundle. Okay. So here's our order of operations. Okay. Now, after each of these steps, I want you to make sure that you save and view your work. Or if you're working on a campaign email, that you send yourself a preview after each one of these steps, just so you know what it looks like when your person experiences it. Okay. So the first step is going to be to claim this resource bundle. We've put that in the chat, and we'll have it in the description below this video on YouTube. The next thing you're going to do is modify the booking page and add your calendar embed code. It's a pretty simple thing to do. I'll show you how I do it here in just a bit. We're going to then modify our intake form to include questions you want to ask about clients. The one I've given you is actually, I'm pretty sure it's literally the one that I use if you wanted to book a strategy call with me to see if we're a fit to work together, right? So I'm giving you my tool here. It's for the intake form. So if you are a business coach, it's going to make a lot of sense to you. But if you're a wellness coach, or you do other types of things that aren't working with businesses that are trying to increase revenue and save time, then you're obviously going to want to change it significantly. Then we're going to modify the campaign. And that campaign is just those 2 emails. And if you don't have a signature set up in your AttractWell system yet, I will make this a quick jump over and show you guys where you can add a signature that goes out attached to all of your emails and saved replies from the system. Then we're going to modify our confirmation page. Again, crazy simple. And then set up your sales page to sell your coaching package. Now, the complicated stuff here, again, this connects to that, this automation does this and that, all of that. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Everything is already pre-connected. All you need to do is go to these pages and make them look like you want them to and say what you want them to say. Okay. And obviously the one that is probably going to take the greatest amount of time for you, unless you already have pre-existing materials, is going to be the sales page. And if you want to get more into the psychology of how sales pages work, really recommend that you check out that previous training that I mentioned at the top of this call. All right, so let's check this out and get this thing done. Remember, if you have questions, please do add those to the Q&A. I do use Calendly, Annie, and that is what I recommend personally, although Acuity, Schedule One, there are lots of different options for what you can use on your AttractWell account and embed on your pages. Okay, and by the way, Annie, and really for anyone who's curious, if you have basically one length of time you would typically book with someone, so maybe it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you can actually get away with, and this is why I like Calendly a lot, you can get away with a free plan with Calendly by just taking that 30-minute call and embedding that booking into a page on AttractWell, and you can plug that into any funnel that you have, and you're using the page that it's on and the pages before and after it to contextualize what that booking event is for. So if you're 30 minutes with clients of A type and B type, you can just use that one booking event, save yourself some money. All right, Cami, what if they pay for individual courses? How do you set that up? Then you would have multiple funnels, right? So if you have one coaching program that is one particular, outcome, then you would use this system and basically replicate it and use your sales page to sell a different thing, and so on and so forth. You can reuse things like your confirmation page, which is included in this bundle, as well as a call booking page. These are things you don't have to have separate confirmation and call booking pages inside of each one of your funnels, because if you word them correctly or use them, set them up correctly, then you're going to have reusable resources. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, like I mentioned, is we're going to claim our resource bundle. So all you have to do here is click claim bundle, and you're good to go. It is going to show you everything that's in your account. You'll be able to click it and go off and see it. But since I would be basically doubling up on these pages that I already have inside of AttractWell's account right now, I'm not going to do that. So let me show you what your person is going to see with this funnel as is. Note, this is something that you must edit. It's not fully thought out for you. Of course, I don't know what's in your coaching package unless you're my client. So definitely make these changes accordingly. So here's the sales page, right? I did modify some of the verbiage here on this page. So if you are someone who wants to focus on selling coaching packages, use this particular one, and note that it is called coaching package sales page, whereas the other sales page template is just called sales page template. So use this one instead of the other one that I trained on in the other YouTube video if you're focusing on coaching packages. All right, so the first thing they're going to do is they're going to read through your sales page. They're going to say, oh my gosh, this is absolutely for me. I want this, yada, yada. So they're going to click, yes, I want to pay. And maybe there's package one where it's 5 calls, another package of 10 calls, another package of 15 calls. You tell them what all they're going to get, what they can expect. Again, I go over the psychology of this section in depth in the other YouTube video. But then when they say buy now, it's going to pop up right here. And then of course, they're going to pick whichever the thing is. They're going to put in their information, and then they're going to click this button and they will have paid you for the coaching sessions. Okay. Now where they go next is a confirmation page. Again, you can modify what's on this page. I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute, but this is something that's reusable. This is a Canva GIF, and you could delete it. You could do whatever you want with this. But what we're telling them is to go check your email, because sometimes people put incorrect emails into forms, and God forbid they just paid you $2,700 and you don't have a way to get in touch with them, right? So we're telling them, go check your email. And if they don't see an email within the next hour, get in touch. And then of course, this is going to pop up your contact information that's on your AttractWell account when they click this button, okay? Now they go and they check their email. They find that there is a link inside their email that says, let's get started. I want you to fill out the form on this page, and then that's going to take you to book our first call. So here is the page with the form. So we're going to say it's time to set up our first call so you can get the results you came for. Fill out the form below, right? So answer the following questions, yada, yada. So there, we've got long answers. We've got short answers. We have drop-down menus. We have multiple choice. We have boxes you can tick, all kinds of great stuff that you can do, right? When they click, let's book our call, we're not going to tell them to go to their email because, they're already in our system, and like, we don't want them to fill out yet another thing. So all they got to do now is go over to this page. Now your calendar will be embedded right here once we get this thing done, right? And they'll be able to pick a time to work with you from right here. And that's it. From there, you're actually, you now have that call scheduled. You can now go to your contacts information inside of your AttractWell contact manager and look up past events on their contact card and actually see all of the answers in one place for what they put into this form right here. So you read that before your call, of course. Take your notes, be prepared for your call, and then of course they will have booked you themselves. And so you're ready to meet. Pretty good, right? All right, so let's talk about how we edit this. Let me close these guys out. All right, so to get this done, let me actually go and open up my Calendly, and I'll show you how I embed this with Calendly. This is going to work really similarly on Acuity or anything else. Basically what you're looking for is you're going to go to find the way to share whatever that booking event is for you. And you're going to go over to add to website and go to inline embed. So I'm going to click that and hit continue. Now, again, this is Calendly. If you're using a different type of booking software, then of course this will look different. But what you want to do is share the form and embed it to your website. We're going to hit continue and then copy the code that they give you, which is now copied. And then we're going to come back over here to our booking page. And I actually have instructions for you right here. So hover over the yellow. We're going to click it. To embed your calendar, click the more, this is the more rich rather. I'm going to change this because you guys need to see it. The more rich menu above. Let me save this real quick. All right, so you click this. Oh, sorry, this more miscellaneous. I did have that right. Okay, sorry about that. So you hit this, you hit code view. And then anywhere between the breaks or in between the divs here, you just want to paste your code. Voila, pasted. And then we're going to close this guy out. And I want to scroll down here and actually delete this. Hit done. And you can actually see the calendar booking here. Now, if it embeds funny, like this one is doing here, all you have to do in this space, click this. And we're going to increase the bottom padding just to give it some more space on the bottom, right? It actually looks fine, I think. So when you save it, you view it, you will then have hit save, hit view. You will then have a live booking page. Now, of course, this one doesn't have any openings because it's one that I use as an example, but they would be able to book right here on your own page. I'm going to go back and modify this, guys, because this is your template. It'll let me do it. Okay, here we go. More miscellaneous. And we're going to delete that code. See, it just has, it'll actually show you where it begins and ends, right? So that's all. That's all we got to do. So once that is done, you want to save it and view it. And now let's talk about our form here. So this is what it looks like. It doesn't look like it looks when it's published, right? And that's because we have form written over here on the side inside of brackets. And under settings on this page, if we go over to leads, you can actually see that I have the lead capture form set up to show up on the page itself. We've got a call to action with instructions. I'm telling them to answer the questions, completely, and that everything is confidential. You put what you need to put here that works best for your situation, your business, your client, and then adjust your questions. If you don't want something that's here, you can actually hit delete field. If you want to choose to not show something for now, you can remove the field label over here. You can choose to require something or not require something in the column here. And then of course, whatever the kind of input is, you can add that here. So I'm asking them if we could wave a magic wand, what do they want to have different in their business right now? Of course, what they want is to answer that question in more than a couple words. So we're going to use long text. You can use a drop-down list and edit the list. That'll show up for you. Lots of different options here. We do have another YouTube video where we talk about forms, so definitely recommend that you check that out. And again, all of the things that this is supposed to go to, they're already set up and ready to go. You don't have to worry about anything that's here. All right, so I've hit done, I hit save, and then you hit view, and it's going to look just like it did before. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure that you make some modifications to this page. You want to do things like change the color background. All you have to do is click, and you can make that change here too. And you can add other things to the page if you like. All right, our next step is to modify our campaign. That's your new client intake campaign. I've already got right here a link inside of this email that sends them over to that coaching intake form. We're telling them what to expect. This does not have to be very complicated. And then of course, I'm sending them a second one, and I'm going to put this 2 days later. Don't forget to do this, hey, make sure you go do this. Don't forget to go and fill out that form, right? Okay, so that's, again, it's really simple. And as promised, let me go over here to settings and show you, if you don't have an email signature set up, you're not going to see it in your campaigns when you're editing them, but they will be applied when you send them. So if we go to general settings here, you can actually go in and create an email signature, and it'll apply to, again, all of your email campaigns automatically. And then you will see it inside of the email field if you're sending a one-off email to someone. So this is where you do your email signature. All right. Now, 2 more things left to do really quick. You can change this image out by clicking on it and clicking replace, and then either dropping an image that you already have in here or using the Canva button, creating a new one, or delete it if you don't want it, right? You can change the verbiage by just clicking on anything highlighted in yellow, and you can start typing to replace text. The gist of this page, why we're doing this the way we're doing this, like I mentioned before, is we just want to send them to their email. We want to tell them what to do. If we don't tell them what to do, we won't get them the result that they want. They just paid for you to help them know what to do with their life or their business or whatever. The whole experience starts here. You just bought something, do this now, right? So this is the first instruction. So make sure that that is clear here. Again, really simple. This get in touch button, it's already coded. It has this little hashtag contact that will pop up your contact form directly on the page if someone needs to reach out to you because they can't find the email. It does tell them as well to add your email address, and this will be the email address you have associated with your AttractWell account. Highly, highly recommend that you use this code, my_email, because, you know, in the event that you decide to change your email address one day, you want to make sure that you always have the accurate one associated with your account. And even more importantly, the one that you are currently sending marketing emails from, right? We want those people to see you as a safe sender, and that's going to make your life easier in the long term and your marketing more effective. Okay, so that is that's our page, our confirmation page. And then finally, you edit the sales page, which you have a whole video sharing with you exactly what you can do to modify this and make it awesome. Okay, so that is basically it. I hope that that makes sense. I hope you guys take advantage of the resource bundle that we've created for you. And I'm excited to get into any Q&A with you guys to help you see how you might apply this specifically to your business. So what I want to do first is bring out, let me see, I'm going to bring out Valerie to chat. She signed up for a live review. Hi, Valerie.
Hey, Ashley.
Glad you're here. Excited to hear, did this make sense? Sort of how we plug it all up?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I took a look at the resource that you sent yesterday. Mm-hmm. And so I started like plugging in my own stuff on it. Mm-hmm. And it is absolutely gorgeous. What a resource. Really.
I'm so excited. That's awesome to hear. So how is it going for you so far?
It's good. I think there's a learning curve with this, you know, like everything else, but you know, I've tried other platforms and this seems to be a lot better thought out than anything I've seen so far.
Well, we really appreciate that. Yeah. Is there anything that we can help you with today?
At this point, I don't think so. I think I need to plug my stuff in, and then I need to, like you said, reverse engineer and make sure everything's linking itself. And probably by next week, I'll have like more specific questions on, you know, like which calendar to use and other things like that. So far, so good.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that this is helpful for you. And yeah, we're excited to see you launch on AttractWell.
Thanks.
Absolutely. As are we. All right. Let's see. I'm going to bring you out, Cami. You signed up for a review as well. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
Good, good. How can we help today?
Well, I'm with you, and I'm a little bit, I love your platform, by the way. So I'm here because I'm still here, but I'm having a really hard time. I'm not a young person. So I'm a retired person who ended up in a really dire position, despite a very successful career. And I have to get a business going, despite the fact that most people say, what's a 75-year-old doing starting a business? But here I am starting a business and hoping to make a success of it. But I'm having a really hard time. First, I'm not sure whether it's because I don't offer the right services. I went with seniors because I am a senior, and I figured, well, nobody wants to hear from, nowadays 75-year-old people are nearly non-people. They're non-existent. They don't have the value that seniors used to have in society. Nowadays, we're sort of obsolete. So trying to get an audience of 30-year-olds is not a good idea. So I went towards the seniors, but I'm finding it very hard to get them. I find that I'm sending things to them. They're reading, they're opening their emails. I do a newsletter. They're reading my newsletter, but I'm not getting them interested in training. So I'm trying to I tried one-on-one. I'm trying, somebody said, well, what are you doing teaching Excel? It doesn't work. Excel for people who are retired, they don't want to learn new things. So I think, okay, what about email? What about surfing the net? Nothing has worked thus far. I keep trying new things, but I can't seem to get them to register for something paying. I'm doing now a fireside chat, a discussion group on housing for seniors, alternative housing. It's a free thing. I'm trying to get sort of known by doing these things. And I have, 11 people, I think, registered now. It's the first time I have 11 people registered to anything. But it's free, of course. And so it's, and for that type of thing, it's not that many people, to have to such an event. So I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know whether I'm just dreaming. Sorry, I'm getting emotional here because I need to work and it's not possible sometimes at my age. And I don't know whether I'm just dreaming and this won't work. And I don't know what to do.
Well, the first thing, Cami, that I want you to know is that you're in really good company, okay? You're in really good company. There's one person here, I can only speak on my behalf. Annie is in the comments, and Annie and I are 100%, 1,000,000% on the same page about this. You have immense value. We just need to get you in front of the people that are ready to listen and want change in their lives, that want something different. Okay, you have so much to offer, so much to offer. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. Tell me, when you think about, because obviously the impetus here is you need to have a business that is making money. So that is priority. That is why this exists. But if you could, just for the sake of an exercise, step back from the need for revenue in the business and tell me, if there was one thing that you love doing so much that you would do it for free, what would that be?
Jeez. I know helping people has been in my, I took care of my father till he died. I took care of my mother. She died in my arms in my home. Helping people has been on my agenda. I have older brothers and sisters, and there isn't a day I don't extend a hand to try and help them, even though I'm not that young. They're 20 years older than me, so they need more help. Certainly helping people is in my genes. When I had a school, I had a facility that taught information technology, from application software to technical to soft skills. So and I had it for many, many years, made stupid mistakes and lost everything. So, but I love to help people, and I'm very organized. I love to organize things. That's why I organize events and so on. I'm good at it, and I love to do them.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm hearing here is that you have an absolute abundance of knowledge, that there are people out there looking to find, they're looking for little seeds of your knowledge everywhere, right? How to get organized, how to plan an event. You know, and honestly, I think consider that your audience might not be seniors. It might not be. I can tell you, and again, like, I mean, I know Annie here is like, we're like this on this in particular, on a lot of things, but on this very specifically, we prefer to listen to older people. And there are enough of us, right? Exactly. I've got more agreeing in the audience. Your audience is not necessarily seniors. Your audience are the people who are looking for the thing that you can help them achieve. See, I was talking to, I don't know if you're on the call, I forget who I was saying this to the other day. Oh no, it was this morning, long day. I wish that we could take this concept of target market, light it on fire and throw gasoline on it and just like toss it into a lake, or maybe without the gasoline. So I wish that we could dispense with that completely. If you are in a service-based business, you are looking for your person, not for a demographic. Your person is not a demographic. Your person is unique. You can have people in your sort of ideal target who are 70 and 27. It's possible. So, so what I would really encourage, and by the way, I'm going to download the chat file from this Zoom and I'm going to send it to you because I want you to be able to keep and read all of these comments that are being left for you right now. But consider that it's the outcomes. It's not the age group. I think that if we say, okay, I want to make a thing that makes money that I can put in front of XYZ thing. That's, you know, how we used to think if we wanted to invent a thing 40 years ago. Now you want to think about who is your person? Who are they? There's an example of a person who is that person that you've worked with before, and it was enormously gratifying and they value you. And I hope that you have had an experience like that. And if you haven't yet, I know that you are going to find that person and they will be a representation of the people that you want to be finding. And I honestly think, and Annie's asking a good question, who normally listens to you? Who listens? And you know what, if there aren't enough yet for you to know for certain, the best way you can start finding your people is to get out there and start talking. And that's not saying, hey, seniors, I made a thing, or hey, age group, or hey, women, or hey, moms, I made a thing. It's, why not like turn on your camera or record your screen. You can use Zoom to do this. You don't need special software. You can turn on Zoom. It's free with AttractWell. Hit record to your device or to your or to the cloud. It's just not like it'd be available in perpetuity. Record it to your device and say, "Hi, my name is Cami, and I help people learn how to make sense of using personal technology. And today we're going to talk about doing this one thing in Excel." And you talk and you walk through and you show something for 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then you go put that on YouTube. And then you go post on Facebook and you say, "Hey, I just made a YouTube video." And if you've got people on your email list, you email them and you say, "Hey, I just made a YouTube video," right? Start building a community of people who love to hear from you because they're out there. We are out there. We want to hear from you. I have a client, Sherma, who is a homesteader. And I don't remember her exact age, but you guys are not that far apart. I have 70-year-old clients I teach to use the internet, like for marketing and growing and coaching, like coaching businesses. You need to know you're not alone. You're not the only 75-year-old who's building a coaching business on our platform. We know you, we see you. And if you're here, say hi, you guys. Right? Who is, if you're in your 70s and you're doing this, reach out. Let's talk about this in our Facebook group. there's enormous potential and opportunity here for you. I think that the way to sort of get out of the sort of stuck and sort of spinning your wheels state is to just take a step back and say, what am I really good at? And who listens to me? And you know, when you talk about that thing that you're really good at, like, who am I helping? Who is that person? And think about things beyond just, you know, where they live or, you know, their age, their gender. Think about, you know, what they're into. What are their values? What are their priorities? Are they people who, they want to learn Excel? Are they wanting to learn Excel so that they could get a better job? Or are they wanting to learn Excel so that they could be a more organized person? If they're looking for more organization, oh my gosh, Cami, do a whole YouTube channel on organization tips. That's so big. And just to give you a little bit of inspiration, specifically talking about stuff like, you know, teaching Excel and that kind of thing. If you want to see somebody who made Excel really interesting, there's a girl called Miss Excel on TikTok. And she just makes these TikTok videos talking about little tips, and she sells Excel courses on the back end, and this girl's made $1 million doing it. And it's not about her age. It's about the fact that she showed up, put something interesting in front of people, and her community saw her. Like we see you right now. They saw her and they were like, you know what? I want more of what this person is doing and offering. What we do, it's not always going to make an immediate connect and drive us into profitability. We do have the Pipeline Igniter course that can help you get clear on that. If you don't have access to it, I would like to make sure that you do. But sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. But once that hive starts growing, it becomes a snowball that can move down the hill more quickly, right? So I just want you to know that we're here for you, and there's a community. It's not just us and our team. Obviously, our team is here for you. There's a community here, and I hope that you'll lean on us and listen to what's being shared here in the chat, and just hang in there, and let's do this together.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're so honored to have you as a part of our community. And I'm just so excited to see where you go and who you help, because it will be many, and they're looking for you right now. Please don't beat yourself up. You've lived a life that you can now turn around and share with others and make theirs better. And for that, I and people like me are grateful for you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. Seeing you 6 months from now winning. That's right, you guys. Oh. All right. Cami, you're always welcome on this call. Thank you for sharing with us today. Okay. You guys, we've got a lot of work to do, and the work is fun when we're doing it together. So we're always thrilled to have you on these live calls. I do want to share with you that next week, there will be a guest trainer here. I'll be at a family reunion, but you're going to have an amazing trainer here next week sharing branding tips with you. She is an internationally recognized coach, and a lot of what she does fits squarely in line with what we do and teach here at AttractWell. So I'm really looking forward to you guys getting to meet and learn from Tiffany next week. She's going to be sharing a photo shoot guide, actually a photo shoot planner that she's put together. And she's got really cute branding on her site. So I hope you guys will take advantage of that. If we have any questions, I want to encourage you to go ahead and ask them. If you don't, I want to encourage you to grab that resource bundle and let's get this funnel made. Right? Like let's get you set up to sell your coaching packages. If you're in a place right now where you're just selling one-on-one calls, all you have to do is provide the one option for payment. You don't have to create an additional one, and sell your coaching packages as you're doing your one-offs right now or your single coaching calls this way. And of course, if you have questions about how you can modify this specifically for your unique business, always know that we're here for you, either in the support inbox or on a live call just like this one, where we can work together, navigate things, figure it out, and you can walk away knowing how to use that thing that we've made to help you grow. So thank you guys so much for being here this week, for sharing with us. And I want to encourage you to take this conversation over to our Facebook group. All right, so we do have an AttractWell Facebook group. It is facebook.com/groups/AttractWell. And let's keep that going in there, especially if you have encouragement to share. Understand we all have a day where we feel like, oh, sometimes we have a lot of days, and you have a community you can lean on here. So yeah, there was a question, if it's not in the Q&A, I might miss it. Where did it go? Does the free Calendly let me do sessions as a pack? No, Annie, if you go back, watch the replay, what you're doing, when I show the schematic where you have, here's what happens, the second one, all you're going to do is create a saved reply that goes back to your booking page. Right. And so after you finished your call, you're just going to send them that saved reply and say, go ahead and pick your next time. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Here's what we talked about today, blah, blah, blah. Right. So you're just going to put a link to the booking page in the saved reply. And that's your loop. So if it's coaching packages, you are doing that one manual step, but you are getting on a call with somebody, and you do want to you're going to have their contact card open anyway, because you're seeing the answers from their intake form. And of course, you get to take all of your notes from your call so that you're clear on what the metrics are for your person moving forward. All right. Do you recommend putting prices on the sales pages, even if it is a high-end offer? Okay. And also, real quick, Brandy, Cami, I really recommend that you connect with Heidi, with Holly, rather. I don't know why I just said Heidi, with Holly. I'm seeing Heidi's name above yours in the list, Holly. Holly Myers is one of the most delightful, wonderful people you will meet. And she is 70. She just turned 70. And you will not regret having a conversation with Holly Myers. So Cami, I hope that you'll reach out and connect with her. Brandy, that's a difficult question to answer. Here's what I would do. If this is something like the program, the thing that you're offering, if it is something that you are open to processing refunds for, and you're not giving all of the deliverables right away when someone signs up, so if it's inside of a vault or something like that, and if I don't usually put high ticket pricing on a page, unless it's a page that I only give to the person after we've had the call and I have given the price, the investment on the call itself. So it wouldn't be a public page. It would be by link only would be the page setting if you were to do that. And it's not a bad idea, right? Because some people really are visual and they want to be able to read everything and get all the details. If you're doing high ticket, yes, you can. Just don't make it a public page. If you want this page to be something that you're using to close people or to get people onto calls to close, then really just use the sales page for the call booking, right? Here's what you're going to get when you get on a call with me. And that way you're really kind of building the value up for your strategy session so that you can close the high ticket deal. I hope that makes sense. Okay, good. Yeah, you don't currently, the only reason why I don't recommend it is because when you're doing high ticket, you have a higher likelihood of a headache if somebody wants a refund. And I don't usually recommend that you offer refunds for high ticket, unless they can do some kind of proof of I did all of the homework, I filled out all the things, I did all the stuff, and this was still bad or something, right? You see a lot of those where you can prove that you did the work. That's fine. But it's just too easy for people to go in and, do a chargeback or also potentially, when you do the strategy calls before offering a high ticket program, you're not just helping them decide whether they want to hire you. You're deciding whether or not you want to work with them, right? So those are all the reasons why. I am not personally a proponent of it. And that's for high ticket. If it's packages, of course, put the pricing on, this is my time is valuable. Here's this price, this price, this price. If you're doing private one-on-one coaching, do that on a strategy call. Such a long answer. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you guys for being such an incredible community. We so appreciate you and are honored that you're here. How do you have the intake form stored on the website? So Michelle, are you referring to where you find the answers to the questions that your client puts into the intake form? Because the intake form is actually a page that we covered in our training today. It's actually a page on your site that has a form embedded on the page. And so that's where it's kept. But the answers are going to be in that contact card. So you look for your person. You're actually going to get an email from AttractWell as soon as they fill it out, and you'll see all of their answers in the email. But just go find that person's card, look up their name or their email address in your contact manager, and you go down to the field on the right-hand side that says past actions and just look for the name of your page. So if that's client intake form, it'll say client intake form, you click it, it opens up and you can see all of their answers. I hope that helps. Okay, you guys are so great. I'm so excited for you guys to join us in our Facebook group and continue these conversations. Annie, there's no lead magnet involved here. This is literally paid for, like, went to page that sells coaching package, paid for coaching package, went to thank you page, got an email that says, you know, the thank you page says, go to the email. Email says, okay, next step, go to the book, go to the form, right? The intake form, where before our coaching call, I'm going to find out all these things about you, right? So if you're a functional practitioner, then, you know, this is going to be similar to like your MSQ or something like that. This is like, I'm asking all of your history, all of these questions, right? And then the page sends them to the booking page after that. So this, none of this is about leads. 100% of this is from the point of sale through to that person actually being on your calendar as your client who's ready to have a call with you. Okay, you guys have the best questions, and I hate that I'm going to miss you next week, but I look forward to seeing you the following, and you'll have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.